Hello creatives, I'm Joanna Penn from thecreativepenn.com and I'm going to start trying to do some more live video. So this is the first I've done in ages, so I hope you find it useful. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about editing because right now I am starting to edit it's like I've printed out the first draft and now I need to hand edit it. Now I've actually got a picture to share with you of some of my hand edits. So I'm just going to put it on the screen. So you can see here, I tend to scribble a lot at this stage of the process. And I'm pretty excited about this book. It is the third in my Matt Walker dark fantasy trilogy. And the other two are done. And doing the third book in a series can sometimes be a challenge because, especially when they're spaced out a bit and you're a discovery writer like me, because you don't necessarily have a plan, you don't necessarily know how it's going to end. But in this edit, there are a few things that I will be focusing on. So first of all, I'm doing a full read through and scribbling on the, I've actually got it here so you can, it's in this big folder, so I just print it out and go through it by hand. I'm looking at what's missing, what might need expanding. So for example, if I've just missed a whole chunk of information or story about how the characters are behaving, or if I just feel like, oh, there needs to be something that sets that up beforehand. So I'm really writing what I need to add. Also what might need expanding. So for example, as I was reading about one of my sort of pyre scenes with one character who died in the last book, I wanted to expand that, make it more emotional in some way. Also, how does it hang together? Does it make sense as the trilogy? That's really important. This really is a trilogy, one character arc. And that would be the next question. Are all of the character arcs, do they make sense? Are they complete? Are they strong enough? Do you get a sense of the real characters as opposed to anything that might be a cardboard cutout character that's just there to be killed? So that's important. Then also the beginning and the end of the books. So when you open that first scene, do you want to keep reading? Is the ending satisfying, both of the book itself, but also of the whole trilogy? Then I'm also looking at story order. So I tend to write in scenes, and a scene is generally in one place and some characters and something happens, but that's not how I do chapters. So I tend to chop my scenes up so they go across chapters, so there's more of a cliffhanger idea, and that's really important too. Then what else? I do my edits with a thesaurus, so I have the thesaurus there, and if I go through and I find repeated words or anything that definitely needs, when you tend to use the same word over and over and it's really annoying, so you have to go in and change it, so I have that thesaurus open so I can check as I go through. Now this is not a specific line detail edit because I know I'm going to make some more changes, but if I notice things, I'm going to fix them. Also dialogue, I definitely rewrite a lot of dialogue at this stage, making it more like the character, and also making it more realistic, or cutting it or changing it or adding action so that you don't need character tag. Miller said or Sienna said, there'll just be some action. Sienna jumped out the window and said it as she jumped out, for example. Also passive to active language, I definitely try and fix that. We all write a lot of passive language. Now I will fix that also later when I do the line edit stage, but if I notice it, I'm going to fix it here too. So that's my first big edit, and I actually love this stage a lot. I feel so much closer to the finished book, and you can see the cover there. Really excited to have that book almost finished and the trilogy almost finished, because of course as writers, when we have a trilogy, we can then turn that into a lot more products. I can do a box set later in the year or next year. I'm going to get my audiobooks done once I have all three. I haven't been clear on the voice or even whether I would narrate them myself. I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to just make sure that I have a good voice to narrate them. And what else? Once I've finished the run through by hand, I type everything up into Scrivener, and then I will print it again and I'll run through it again, but this time at a more detailed level to make sure it reads end to end properly. Then I send it to my story editor, who is also my first reader. Jen, she's fantastic. Jen Blood, she's been my editor for years, and she does a story read and then comes back to me. I'll do the fixes, and then I'll do the line edit. I'll run it through Pro Writing Aid, and then I'll send it to my proofreader, and my proofreader is going to then give any thoughts on what else needs to be fixed, usually just a few things at that stage, and after that it gets formatted for print and publication. So at this point I'm ready to also put the pre-order up, and this is something I like to do once I've got that first draft, because I know the book is going to be finished within a couple of months once it goes through all those different people. So yeah, that is my process. So I hope you found that useful, and let me know how your writing is going, and also how do you do your edits? Add a comment below. So I hope that was useful. If you enjoyed the live video, let me know, and I will hopefully be doing more of them over time. Right, bye for now.